You're now listening to the Thousand Story Podcast, presented by Thousand Story.
Welcome to the Thousand Story Podcast. We are your hosts,
Naji.
and Luis.
Switch it up on you. You know
I was going to say, honestly, for a moment, I was going to say Naji. I was going to say I was Naji.
All good. It's all good. I can take a moment to breathe. So what is our topic for today, Luis?
So today we're talking about the 10 different paths. I personally love discussing this because, as I mentioned in a previous episode, I get pretty anxious about get that feeling of like not having accomplished something, or like you're just like not getting anywhere, which I feel like a lot of creatives get this feeling of, even though you're like working super hard on something and you do really well with it and people receive it well, you still have this just self-deprecating doubt.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, damn, am I doing well? Like,
yeah, you could always be better. There could always be more likes.
Exactly. And so I've always, I don't know why I've done this. Well, I mean, I know exactly why I've done this because of that fact, but I like searching stories of famous people who were doing like really shitty jobs, like myself, having done those. And it just makes me feel a lot better inside. Just to know that they weren't like always famous, Absolutely. Because for most of the time, you're just like, oh, this specific person that I've known all my life, like that's all they've ever done. It's just been famous and doing really cool stuff.
There is no backstory.
Exactly.
They're here. They've always been here.
You're just like, oh, yeah. Famous person always being famous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just love searching stories like that. So I feel like it would be really cool to just talk about that for people like myself who get very anxious about not being somewhere, and just knowing and realizing that,
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Everyone's on their own time.
There's a club.
Don't worry. Don't stress so much. Like you're doing the right thing. You're doing as much as you can. You're doing your best.
Take your time. Just be consistent.
That's what matters. That's what matters.
So with that being said, who is our first one?
So first, I think everyone's heard the story about Oprah. And when she was 23 years old, she got fired from her first reporting job. And they basically told her, that she should never be a reporter ever.
Damn.
Which is wild.
That's crazy. She's Oprah.
Because she's
bro.
Oprah.
This is Oprah, bro.
She's like building schools for people now.
She is, like, Oprah is the definition of like, oh, sorry, I'm Oprah. I can like do whatever I want.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're like, oh, your life is so hard. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Oprah. Like,
which is wild because like, okay, so say it's like the whole Michael Jordan thing to me. You know what I mean? When Michael Jordan like tried out for the high school basketball team, and they were like, nah, you're not good enough. And he just practiced and he's Michael Jordan.
Now he's Michael Jordan.
Now that dude's got shoes that cost like $150
a pair.
Yeah.
That's wild. He's a dick though. But
he's not a nice guy. But Oprah, on the other hand, was told, like, fired from her reporting job, and they were like, you should never be a reporter ever. Went on to do her own show, and then she built a school, and now she has her own network.
Yeah. She Oprah's aight.
She's balling, man.
She is balling.
She's balling.
But speaking of people on TV, like another good example that we were talking about, I guess, making the list was Tina Fey. So she started.
Tina Fey, man.
Tina Fey is out here.
She's done so much.
So much. Let's talk about it, right? So she had, obviously, you know her from SNL.
Yes.
You know her from
Head writer, dude.
Head
writer of SNL.
That's
Female
crazy.
head writer. Yeah.
You know her from 30 Rock. You know her from Mean Girls.
Yes.
You know her
Unbreakable
from
Kimmy Schmidt now.
like she's on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
these are just some things that people might know, but she has been around for a while.
Yes.
But she didn't start this until her mid-20s. How old was she?
Yeah.
Because she was.
It was
still,
like late 20s almost, like post 26, I want to say.
Yeah, because it says here at 23, she was still working at YMCA, living with a roommate in Chicago, taking classes at Second City. Second City, mind you, I believe it's like an improv.
It's an improvisational group.
Yeah, it's improvisational. Yeah. So she met like Amy Poehler there. She met she met some of the homies.
She met a lot of the homies. Yeah.
Those were the day ones.
That helped build that whole world of SNL.
Yeah. And that was post-college years, right? That's like career.
Graduated college, moves to Chicago with a roommate, has a shitty job, working at the YMCA.
Grinding.
Yeah. And then taking classes, which is the crazy part, is that she was still taking classes, and writing, and then was seen, as in the Second City troupe.
Yeah.
And then was picked up, worked as a writer for SNL. Then made her way up as head writer. And now she's just making her own shows and doing her own thing.
Exactly.
Because that was the first thing I'm pretty sure she did right after SNL did 30 Rock immediately.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
She just
huge
switched
acclaim.
over. It was smooth. Well, no, obviously she had Mean Girls in between.
Yeah. She did do Mean Girls. Yeah. But so she was writing. So she wrote movies and got into that.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but it's crazy. And she's worked with a ton of other people too, like Donald Glover.
Yep.
Donald Glover.
You know how much we love Donald Glover on this show. I
feel like every episode we're just like, Donald Glover's so dope.
Childish Gambino. Sorry, we love you.
Yeah. No, but Donald Glover was an he wasn't an extra, but he was writing for the show, and then he even appeared on the show.
Yeah, I don't know if it was once or twice, but it was a few times, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, even while he was writing for 30 Rock, writing and starring in Community. And then, all the meanwhile.
I didn't know he was writing for Community. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah, he was doing a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was, that is Dan Harmon.
It's Dan Harmon and there's another partner. Who's the guy?
I don't remember that guy.
But yeah, he was writing for Community as well. And
that's
then,
awesome.
Obviously he had the Childish Gambino project.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, that didn't even pop off. Okay, there's cult classics and people who kind of have followings. Sure, he had kind of a following and people knew him as Childish Gambino, but he didn't pop off to where people are like, Childish Gambino, ooh, Redbone's my joint. He didn't pop up to that point.
No, because this album, Awaken My Love,
was 2016.
Is huge.
That was his 9th or 10th project.
Are you for real?
As Childish Gambino.
You're lying.
9th or 10th, I can't remember the order of it in there, but literally, so if you go back to the beginning of when he started doing stuff as Childish Gambino, or before that, MC
wild,
DJ,
man.
Right? When he was doing stuff as MC DJ, just instrumental hip hop. That was his name, bro. MC DJ.
What a name.
That was 2006. When he released it, mind you. So he was probably working on it before that point, obviously.
Yeah.
So we released it in 06. Then he still wasn't even Childish Gambino yet. Then he hit that random name generator, right? Came up with Childish Gambino, or rather the random name generator did. Yeah. And then started releasing stuff under that in 2008. He had in between 2008 and 2014, 8 or 9 projects.
This That's crazy.
And, they were all kind of, not slept on, but again, you didn't know of Childish Gambino to the extent that you do now.
Yeah.
Until Awaken My Love.
Yeah.
That was 8 or 9, years.
Yeah.
It was years.
That's a long time to be working on one project.
He's 28, 29 now? 20.
Yeah, he's still in his late 20s.
Late 20s.
Lando.
I mean, granted, he's doing great for himself.
Yeah.
If he's still in his late 20s. But that being said, it still took him 8 years to get to this point.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a long time.
That's a ridiculously long time.
Yeah. Because, for me, the only albums that when I first heard of Childish Gambino was the Bonfire.
Right.
EP.
Which is a fire EP.
Which is a fire EP.
Yeah, I think.
But that's the first time.
I think it was Camp. Bonfire might have been.
Bonfire was the single, I think. Off of Camp. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
because
Camp
it was Camp, and then right after that was because of the internet. Was it?
Yeah.
Because was something in between that?
There was because of the internet, and then I think Kawaii, which was a small mini EP.
Which I remember that.
Came out after because of the internet.
Yeah. But I think, honestly, I didn't even hear of him until, because the internet had just been released.
Yep.
And then I went back and I was like, camp.
Okay.
Cool.
Got it.
And then I went, and then I just followed his career after that.
Yeah. But
Because,
that's 8+ years.
That's
just
crazy to me,
grinding and putting stuff out and just seeing what happens. It's a testament to show you it does not happen overnight.
No.
At all.
Slow, steady growth.
Speaking
That's
of
the biggest thing.
28 or 29-year-olds, another one of my influences and my inspirations, Pharrell Williams. So it's not that he popped off at 28 or 29. He was still doing work. He was still active. He was gaining kind of like a recognition and reputation. But he didn't drop the first Nerd album, which is what everybody would mostly know him for. The Neptunes were his production team. Him, Chad Hugo, those were the Neptunes.
Yep.
Right. But Nerd was the band that consisted of him, Chad Hugo.
There's one other dude.
There's two other dudes.
Is there?
Yeah. Mike something. And I can't remember the other two dudes terribly.
They're back though.
They are back.
They're touring or something.
They are back.
Wait, are they? They're dropping a project too.
They did drop a project. They dropped it.
Man, I'm late.
I'm late. I'm terrible because I don't remember the other two names. But those guys didn't even drop the first album until 2001. That would put him at 28, at 29.
Yo, that's crazy.
He was again grinding away with the Neptunes and stuff before that point. But even then, with the Neptunes, he didn't actually start, kind of gain a reputation as, him and Chad didn't start gaining a reputation as like a production duo until like 97, 98 when they really started popping off. And then they shortly in like 98, they did Khaleesi's album, Kaleidoscope? Something with a scope in it.
Milkshake, man.
That Milkshake didn't come out on that one. That was a later one. But
still though.
I mean, Milkshake's classic.
Milkshake's
but I don't know if that
classic.
was him. Anyway, yeah. So
I think it was, man.
Well, it sounds like it could be.
I mean, because it's got that three, that boom,
like
that's Pharrell, dude.
That's definitely Pharrell.
That's Pharrell.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's years.
See, that's crazy to me because like for me, like I don't know. I've always loved Pharrell, and Pharrell, like I don't know. I know he's been a huge inspiration in your life, but like musically, he's always also been an inspiration to me. Mamacita is like such a great song.
Absolutely.
That's like a B-side that like no one knows about. But anyway, like I just always thought he was just famous. Like I just saw, like I've always just known for, you know what I mean? Like he's just been like a household name to me for like such a long time. Like it's just crazy to think that he was like 28 when he was doing, because most of the time, like especially in the entertainment industry, it's in your 20s.
Yeah.
When you get, you know what I mean? But like
early 20s. Or like late teens.
Exactly.
You're fresh.
Yeah. That's when you don't know any better.
Exactly.
That's why they grab you.
Precisely why. But yeah, he was late. But the thing was, he was already established in the game. I grant you, but he didn't actually gain recognition for it until way later.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is wild. But somebody else who is around that same age.
Yeah.
Right? Michael B. Jordan.
Not a dick. Awesome guy.
Really nice guy.
Also has his parents moved in with him because he's that cool.
He's just dope.
Anyway, so Michael B, we found out, actually after The Wire. So if you know.
So he was in The Wire.
He was in The Wire, which is a very cult classic. I can't remember.
Incredible show, man. It takes place in Baltimore, about gang violence and drugs and the politics and police.
Like it blew up. It's iconic, right?
I think my favorite line still from that show is, oh God, I can't remember his character, but he's like, oh shit.
Oh, the old black dude?
Yeah. He's always just like, oh shit. Yo, iconic. It's never gonna go away.
Clearly, people know about that, right? They saw Michael in that and they were like, wow, this is beautiful. Like it was like, wow, okay, he's an actor. Even after that, he was still sleeping on his friend's couch. He moved to LA.
Yo, that's crazy.
And didn't have a place to stay, didn't have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
Just networking and just friends that he happened to have in LA that helped him pick his feet up. Or pick himself up on his feet. But even like while he was in LA, it wasn't just like, okay, now I'm in LA, now I can start acting. He was getting denied from like Jack in the Box when he would go and apply for like fast food. Yeah. Like they were like, you're overqualified.
To work at Jack in the Box?
To work at Jack in the Box, my dude.
What the
you know what I'm saying?
What?
Like,
how?
I don't know. I am not part of Jack in the Box's.
Excuse me, sir. You seem to be smart. Like, what can you
Can't
say?
hire
Like,
you. I'm sorry about this, sir. You seem like you're actually succeeding.
yeah, like
We're gonna have to pause on that. Not
No,
to
that's
say that
weird.
anybody who works at Jack in the Box is
No.
not succeeding.
I'm looking
it's
down
just-
on Jack in the Box.
It's like,
It's
well,
like,
why would you? Why?
That makes no sense.
Just goes to show you. We obviously know Michael B. Jordan's relevance now, as Black Panther just came out. Number 4 grossing movie of all time. In Marvel's highest grossing movie of all time.
All time, yeah.
And he's just blown up, and he's just been plugging away that long. He's
For
such
such a long time.
now. That was when The Wire came out. He was like 21.
That sounds about right.
22?
Because that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Because that was our late 2000s.
late 2000. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it takes a while. Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan has been in the game for a while.
Yeah, and I think that's something that like people don't realize too. Like when you see somebody in like a music video or you see somebody on TV, you automatically think like, oh, they're set.
Yeah, they're good.
Like that's their job. Like now that they're making money, like probably got a big house somewhere in the Hamptons.
Instantly.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
Not the case.
Not the case when it comes to art.
Not that job.
But speaking of Marvel, Stan Lee also had a late start. Also had a very late start.
Do tell me. Tell me about
Yeah,
this.
so Stan Lee started writing comics in 1939, right?
Word. Wait. Damn. 1939.
Yeah, 1939 is when he started writing
This
comics.
is like a decade after the Prohibition. Like,
Yeah. So he started writing comics around that time, and he didn't release the Fantastic Four, which was the first Marvel comic, until he was 39 years old.
39.
Dude was almost hitting 40. Still, okay, at that time, still writing comics,
Right.
right? I can't imagine what people were thinking back then. Like, bro, why are you messing around with cartoons?
Like, didn't your mom tell you to get a job?
Get yourself a real job, Stanley.
Like, that's crazy.
Yo, and now it's like this multi-billion-dollar company.
I mean, which was taken over by Walt Disney ultimately.
Right. But
they
still.
sold it. They
yeah.
sold it for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
They,
crazy.
they pay him like $1 million a year just to be Stanley.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wanna be Stan Lee.
My girlfriend's dad is friends with him. He actually Tom Filsinger wrote a book with Stan Lee, and just says it's just the nicest dude. Nicest dude ever.
Well, yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah. We're only, technically I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees of separation away from Stan
From
Lee.
Stan Lee. Yeah. I'm only 3, which is crazy.
Exactly.
Well, actually, wait, 1, because I know Tom.
True.
Yeah.
True. You like
Wild.
Damn.
That's crazy to me, too.
Cool story, bro. Oh, speaking of 40-year-old dudes, by the way, actually a bonus one that I forgot about.
Yeah.
So Gordon Ramsay
Oh, word.
didn't even get in the cook. Okay, obviously, context here. Gordon Ramsay, popular chef,
Yes.
super known for being pissed off at everyone, just
Yeah.
raging. I mean, it's his personality.
Okay, hold on. Was he Hell's Kitchen? Is he Hell's Kitchen?
Yes.
Okay, word.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just
Gordon
know who
Ramsay.
he is just because I know Gordon Ramsay, but yeah.
Yeah, like, this chicken is so fucking
Yeah.
raw.
It's so dry.
Like, yeah, that's him. But
Do better.
you waste of human space. Like, that's him, right? And obviously he's a 3-star Michelin chef. Like, but he's established. Like, he's
Right.
a bunch of restaurants.
Yes.
Like, he is there, right? But he didn't even start doing that until after he couldn't get into his soccer career. Like,
Wait, what?
yeah, he was originally trying to play soccer full time, or I guess football in the UK. But he ended up having an injury and had to completely stop playing soccer. And then he got into cooking. It was like, word?
Yo, that's wild.
Yeah. Completely
I feel
shifted.
like, yo, that's crazy. So he just, God, what was I going to say? So he basically had a dream to be a soccer player.
Yeah, and he
Couldn't fulfill that dream.
Nope.
And then decided to do something else.
I'm going to cook now.
Dude, I understand him so much better now. Now that I know that he wanted to be in soccer. No, for real. Because like, think about it. Like when you're an athlete, like they degrade you. They yell at you like, yeah. That makes sense. So he's training his chefs like athletes.
Yeah. That totally makes sense then.
Yeah. I have such an appreciation for the man now. I've never had this before.
I look at Hell's Kitchen entirely differently now.
I do. It's like a training camp.
Oh gosh.
But no, it's just crazy to me that like so many people like had these like really, really like dreams or just like really shitty jobs. Like another person who had a shitty job. So Stephen King, actually, when he was 24, he was working as a janitor. Because his brother, I want to say, or brother-in-law, I don't know, but his brother was working as a janitor. So he did it for like a summer, and that's where he like living in a trailer, and that's where he got his idea to write Carrie, which was the horror book that basically popped off and like made the cult classic film and all that stuff. But yeah, so during his time as a high school janitor, he just got inspired by the atmosphere, I guess.
Okay.
He read and then he also read like a Lifetime magazine article about like telekinesis and how like poltergeists could potentially come from just someone having telekinetic powers and like moving objects in the room, and it just like freaks them out.
Right.
And people who could potentially hold this power more often than not are females or girls, adolescent girls around the time that they have
they flower. The menses.
Is that, how do we say that?
That's
exactly.
When puberty occurs.
And so when puberty occurs for a female. And so
hard.
then he basically married the two ideas together and he came up with Carrie.
That's crazy.
Which is wild. And he was actually so depressed at the time that while he was writing the book, he hated it for a moment and he ended up throwing it away. And his right, exactly. The book that like popped him off. And his wife fished the book out, like the manuscript out, and brought it back to him and was like, listen, you got to finish this. You got to do this.
Stop being a damn fool.
But yeah, man, the dude was a janitor.
That's crazy.
Like
Stephen King. Also he wrote, It and whatnot. So he wrote
It, which is now doing a remake.
Right, did the remake. Yeah, did completely. What else did he do? I think did he do Misery as well?
I don't know if he did Misery. I know he did Cell.
He did Cell.
Yeah, which was a great one. Oh my God.
Dude's done a lot. But he's known mostly in the author in the book realm more than the movie realm. I mean, a lot of his books have been adapted to
a lot of his books have been adapted
but he's
to movies.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah. Which is just wild because he's one of the most popular authors. It's comforting to know that he had one of the crappiest jobs, literally. Not because he's a bad person, but just because someone like a janitor could become one of the world's greatest writers of all time. Yeah, which is crazy. J.K. Rowling also had a crazy story.
Damn, how many people were we at so far?
This is, I don't know, man, maybe like 8 or 9 or 10.
We said 10 different paths, but we probably lying. It's probably like 12 or 13. Just disclaimer, we are not false advertisers. Continue.
So J.K. Rowling, when she was like 28, she was going through it, man. She was actually suicidal for a little bit.
I think I saw, read some of her bio. She had like an abusive relationship with her husband. Children got taken away or something like that.
So mind you, so I don't think her daughter got taken away.
Okay.
I don't think that was it. But so she is currently one of the wealthiest women in the world.
Right.
Right. So let's just start the story there.
Let's just start from the top.
Let's start from, exactly. So she wrote, she knew she always wanted to be a writer.
Right.
Right. And she just basically described like the most traumatizing moments in her life.
Okay.
Her mother died in like New Year's Day in 91 when she was 25. And that was like 6 months after she began starting to write Harry Potter. And I don't know if you noticed, but like a lot of in Harry Potter, it focuses around the like death. Right. Which now looking back on, it totally
makes sense.
It totally makes sense because his parents died. Like, it's crazy.
Kind of like an outlet for it.
Yeah. So her mother died and then she moved to Portugal to try to just fresh start. Right. And she was teaching English as a foreign language. Right. Doing like an ESL teaching.
Thing,
she started dating this man, Jorge. Arantes, became pregnant, moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment with Arantes' mother, right?
Okay.
And then they had a miscarriage. She goes in depth into her story. Yeah, had a miscarriage. They married in October 92. She then gave birth to her daughter Jessica in July 93. And then they had a super rocky marriage that lasted 13 months. So your mother dies at 25. You move to Portugal to teach English. You get married to this guy. You miscarry. And then you have a daughter. And then within that whole year, you just get divorced.
And it was abusive.
And it was abusive. It was awful. It was a really crappy marriage. Yeah. So then J.K. Rowling and her daughter Jessica returned to the UK to live in Edinburgh, Scotland, which is a gorgeous place. And then she was basically just carrying around the only 3 chapters of Harry Potter that she had written in her suitcase. And she spent time in this really, really crappy small apartment, basically just falling into this huge, deep depression, considering suicide. She was basically relying on state benefits and spent most of her time in cafes with her young daughter next to her, writing and finishing Harry Potter.
That's wild.
Which is, yeah.
Wow.
That story is just a huge testament of just how the will to prevail. You know what I mean? Because after going through so much, man.
Yeah, I'm not a billionaire yet, but I've been in her shoes. Just at that low, just that dark, and just that depressed, and just why am I even doing this? Why does anything even matter?
Why does it matter anymore? She
wild.
was actually quoted saying, an exceptionally short-lived marriage had imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain, without being homeless. By every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew.
Damn.
And now this woman, I'm so glad that all these wonderful things have happened to her since then.
Yeah.
Because now she's one of the wealthiest women, but someone who actually deserves it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Snaps for you. Nah, but that's just crazy. I also just love J.K. Rowling in general.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
She made an iconic series.
Yeah.
Speaking of iconic series, Harrison Ford. Our dude Han Solo.
Yo, Han Solo.
That guy. Let's talk about it. So you know more information than I do. But
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So if you know of the Star Wars series, right? You know the original ones came out in the 70s, right?
Yes.
That was 1970.
7, I want to say.
Ish.
Yeah.
For the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Right. And at that time, he was 35, 40-ish.
30. Yeah, 33, I think.
33.
So he was, all right. So his story is kind of funny too.
Go for it, bro.
Because
Take it.
He did some weird stuff. All right. So in 1964, right?
Mm-hmm.
He moved with his then wife, married to Hollywood. And then he got a spot at Columbia Pictures' new talent program. He was basically making $150 a week. Just,
Damn.
Yeah. His career really didn't develop at all with Columbia, so he ended up leaving them. But he signed on with a similar deal with Universal, which is just, all right, it's interesting to see how many times he's switched from company to company, right? And then he was saying that at the time he was just doing guest spots, and he really feared becoming just a guest star,
right?
Because then people would only see him as a guest star, and he would only get work as a guest star, meaning he wouldn't get any sort of fame whatsoever.
Or as a featured, a primary art. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, which would suck. I mean,
it's a struggle that musicians have now.
Yeah.
Where it's literally you in the EDM realm, especially, where you have a bunch of featured singers who, depending on what their contract is, some of them can't even put their names on the songs because, they have
That's
a contract
crazy.
that say they cannot release music outside of that contract. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation, but it's a common struggle.
That's just weird.
Back to Harrison.
Anyway, so Harrison Ford, 1970, he purchases a home in the Hollywood Hills. And apparently the story goes that it was just really crappy. He had to fix it up. And he started learning carpentry as a courtesy of the Encino Public Library. And he just got really into it. And his first started working as a carpenter then because it was making him more money. His first big carpentry job was building a $100,000 studio for a Brazilian band leader, Sergio Mendes.
What?
Yeah.
My dude Sergio. I love Sergio.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't that crazy? So Harrison Ford is building a studio for this dude, and he always wanted to be an actor, but at that point in time, it was just he just wasn't making enough money. I mean, like $150 a week, or build a studio for Sergio Mendes for $100,000.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, he kind of had like a little small role in a George Lucas film, American Graffiti.
How old was he at this point?
So this was 1973.
Right. So it was obviously before Star Wars came out.
Yeah, it's just before Star Wars came out. And then he basically just got like super small roles. And then he was working. So Lucas was casting for his next film, Star Wars. And he was doing this thing where he was just like trying to cast each actor individually. Because he wanted to see like how they would do as like a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was just kind of like handpicking people and then like putting them in a group together.
Makes sense.
So he had different groups. He had Leia, Luke, and Han interacting with each other. So he had like 5 Leias, 5 Lukes, and he had 4 Hans. So somehow George Lucas found out that Harrison Ford was available. So he agreed to meet with Ford just to kind of get another group, really,
right?
You know? And then for some reason, George Lucas just really took to him. And during the auditions, Harrison Ford was reading like all of the lines for everyone. And then at the end of all the reading, George Lucas just came to Harrison. He was just like, all right, man. So I know you helped me audition like all the other actors, but I want you in this movie now. And then he became Han Solo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Harrison, what a life.
That's just crazy to me. Like, he was making a lot of money in carpentry, too. What if, like, and he was a good carpenter.
Bro, like,
according to Sergio Mendes, he was a good carpenter.
He probably still does it, like, on the side. Like, or just like
I'd imagine,
a pastime type thing. I would do it if I learned something, like a random skill that was, like, dope. Like, carpentry. Like,
yeah.
You can make stuff, bro. That's cool.
You can build houses.
And you can make money from that? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still be doing it in my pastime. Like, I don't know if I would name it, like, own name. But
I think he's like 75,
thing.
Man.
Yeah, he's up there. But I mean, like, casual carpentry, if that's a thing. I'm not sure if that is a thing. But if there were such a thing as casual carpentry, I would be doing it.
Yeah.
But, damn, that was him at like 30-something?
30-something. Yo, Christopher Walken was actually considered for Han Solo.
Really?
Yeah.
That would have been very funny.
That would have been, I just don't know if it would have been the same.
It would not have been the same at all.
Yeah.
But that would have been hilarious.
Like, just all those weird pauses.
What are you doing?
Luke, why are you kissing your sister?
The Death Star. It's over there. You sure we'll be able to get in? I don't. No, there's enough space. It's a tiny hole. Can you make the shots? That's my Christopher Walken.
That's a good Christopher Walken.
Oh, man. Gosh.
That's awesome.
Oh, damn. Where were we? Oh, right. Yeah. So, next on the list, just to kind of jump into a different area.
Spice it up.
Vera Wang. Fashion is iconic. Everybody's iconic.
Fashion designer.
Everybody's super iconic. But Vera Wang, fashion designers, more specifically, really in the wedding arena, basically like wedding gowns, and the whole
bridal dresses,
she actually was what does it say here? She was an Olympic figure, or she tried to be an Olympic figure. She failed to make the Olympic figure skating team. Olympic figure.
She was an Olympic figure.
Somehow involved with the Olympics, one way or the other. But she was in Olympic figure skating, or she was trying to be at least. And she didn't actually get to do that. She failed. Like she just, I guess, failed tryouts multiple times.
Damn.
And then ended up trying to apply for a position at Vogue. I'm not sure where the transition went from Olympics
to
Vogue.
I kind of see it because there's like a fashion involved in Olympic figure skating.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta,
just the outfit you wear
outfits
alone. But
you know?
like, where did her interest come in? That's what I'm curious about.
I'm intrigued.
I'm pretty sure there's a story somewhere about it. But went from there, failed at Vogue, right? Wasn't able to get the editor-in-chief position there. And then was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing my own thing. And then designed her first dress at 40.
Yo.
Like 40.
That's crazy. That's a long time to like, I mean, I know she knew what she was doing, but like, that's a long time for what society would say, like, not knowing what you're doing with your life.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
like,
the same. It's another Stephen King type. Or no, it's another Stan Lee type situation.
Yes, exactly.
It's just like, bro, it's about that time.
Like you need to get a real job.
You need to be,
you got to do something
constructive and conducive towards a better society.
Yeah. Constructive and conducive.
But it just goes to show you, people have patience. If you have patience.
Because it can be terrifying. I mean, it's scary. It's scary right now. And I'm in my 20s. You know what I mean? It's scary just being like, oh man, when I turn 30, I'm just like, and I don't have my shit together. Like,
well,
what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, how are people going to think of me? And then here I am reading about Stan Lee and Vera Wang.
40.
At 40.
Out of here.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Like, and other 40-year-olds, other casual honorable mentions include Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Well, technically he was 34 when he got his first film role ever with, that was Samuel L. Jackson.
No. That was Morgan Freeman.
I just said the same twice. That was Morgan Freeman.
That was Morgan Freeman.
Not all black people look the same. I swear. So Morgan Freeman, 34, driving Miss Daisy. Then 50.
He was 34 when that came out?
No. Yes.
Dang. No, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was young, man.
Yeah, he really was. Driving Miss Daisy. And then 52 landed his first major film, Glory. That's Morgan Freeman. Samuel Jackson didn't get his first major role until he was 46.
Yo, that's a long time.
And Samuel Jackson was at one point either the highest earning Hollywood star or the highest earning black Hollywood star. And Morgan Freeman has literally, I think, the top fourth highest office box income or payroll in total, or like not payroll, but like the highest generating.
Interesting. Well, okay, so did he do Planet or Earth? Or like one of those shows?
Like narrate for it?
Yeah, didn't he narrate something?
I feel like he probably did. I
feel like he narrated something, and I don't remember what it is.
He's been doing a lot of things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if you know this, but like I think it's Planet is the rated the best television show ever.
Wait, Planet Earth?
I think it's Planet Earth, yeah.
That would totally make sense. That is
the best TV show ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
IMDb rated that. So I'm just saying. I didn't say that.
Their views do not represent our own.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Although Rick and Morty is also in the top 10, and they've only had, 3 seasons?
3 seasons?
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is wild.
Accomplishments.
Which is wild.
But we say all this to say everything takes time. Don't stress so much on how long it's taking. As long as you still love it, and as long as you have something you want to get good at or you are good at, and you feel like it's... And you don't need necessarily the validation for it, but if you feel like things are going in the right direction, just keep going. Just like do it.
Do it. Do it for you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do it. Don't do it for the fame, and because that's what I get from a lot of these stories. Is that did J.K. Rowling really think she was going to get famous off of Harry Potter while she was writing Harry Potter?
Now, could you even write something knowing if you had the knowledge that you would become a billionaire off of something?
Yeah.
Or that you could or couldn't, like there was like a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
I couldn't even write that because I feel, or make something to the, that extent. I'd feel so stressed at if it weren't the $1 billion idea.
Yeah.
Like you can't know that. You can't know this thing is going to be this amazing.
Yeah.
So you just have to make it for wherever you feel, its value lies in yourself. You have to make that for yourself.
That's the thing, like, especially in the J.K. Rowling story, is that she was writing it because it was one of the things that she was doing in her life that did not make her feel depressed.
Yeah.
She was doing it therapeutically for her.
Absolutely.
That's just, yeah.
So it just goes to show time, perseverance, and just self-care.
Yes.
Are really the things that are going to help you pop off.
Do it for you.
Do it for you, and things will come when they need to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
People will notice because people will know because it's genuine.
if it's real,
You know what I mean? If it's real,
quality and it's genuinely, authentically you, it will pop off in one way or another.
Yeah.
Even in the way you least expect it. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. So hopefully you enjoyed that little tangential conversation.
Yeah.
But we wanted to show you some influences and some people that have made it. Just give you some of that solace. Just knowing things are gonna be okay. They were okay. They can be okay for you.
Yes. Yes.
Not everybody is.
Things will get better.
Things will get better.
Things will
be just fine.
Yes.
And things take time.
Keep chugging along.
So until next time, what do we have planned for next week?
Oh God, you would ask me. So next week it's actually Record Store Day. Record Store Day weekend.
Record store.
You
see how we do that?
Bro.
Those transitions,
Killed it.
DJ. So we're going to be going in a record store and doing an on-location recording. Going in, finding some dope vinyl, and finding some new artists to kind of highlight for next week's episode that are releasing stuff via vinyl. Prime example, Kate Renata and Robert Glasser's project.
Ayo.
That's coming out on vinyl.
That's wild.
We should cut that. And there'll be plenty more. But that is next week. So be hyped, be excited. And again, if you have any comments or advice or questions, hit us up over Twitter, or Facebook, or the website at thousandstory.co/contact. But if you want to hit us up on Twitter, you can hit us up at @thousandstory_, and that is an actual underscore, not the word underscore. Or hit us up individually. So my handles for both Twitter and Instagram are at Mr. Naji Boy. That's MrNajiBoy.
And I go by at L Pontillo. That's LPONTILLO on Instagram, and at Luis Pontillo. That's LUISPONTILLO on Twitter.
Beautiful.
So hit us up,
and leave a review. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We survive and thrive on reviews. So if you're using iTunes or any other podcast app that aggregates from iTunes, hit us with that review, please.
Yes.
We want to share our little love and knowledge with all of our peers.
Shout out to everyone that has been listening so far.
We love you.
You guys are real.
The best.
For sure.
The best.
Love
so
y'all.
Until then, we shall see you next week. I'm Naji.
I'm Luis.
This is the Thousand Story Podcast. Signing out. Peace.